Hi, this is Henry Winkler.
Hi, this is David K. Harbour.
Hey, Debbie Gibson here.
Hi, this is Chaz Palminteri, and you're listening to Marta on the Move. You better listen.
I'm your host, Marta Mazzoni. Join us as we connect culturally through lifestyle, travel, and entertainment.
Well. Hello, everybody. Oh, man, I'm actually surprised I knew how to turn on this machine, even though I think it's only recording through one ear. I have not wanted to podcast at all in months. It's just been a wild ride. I'm sure everybody out there is dealing with their own stresses and struggles during this time of COVID. And I have as well. My family has. Not much I can talk about, but just stress and struggles. And a lot of it has been everybody's kind of going inward, right? That's the thing. So I released a blog post on my webpage that kind of scared the shit out of me, that I wanted to put out there, which was basically like transitions, reintroductions, with the underlying theme of owning who you are now and not who you were. And when I wrote the blog post and I was scared to release it, I realized I had a couple people reach out to me and ask me if I was going to post it as a recording. And then I also realized that a lot of you do not read. No. No, everybody receives their different media differently. And I have a lot of listeners that just listen to my voice and listen to my podcast and resonate with my voice. And then I have people that love reading blog posts. So I wanted to put this out there. I'm hoping the audio is actually working, because it was just kind of messing with me for a little bit. But anyways, how's everybody doing out there? Is everybody okay? Are you guys all right? If you follow me on Instagram and stuff like that, you have probably noticed that a lot of my posts have been more threading in the direction of health and wellness. And honestly, that's just because that's the path I'm on. That's what's been happening. So to make a long story short, I wrote a lot in the blog post, and I'm not going to read essentially what was word for word what the post was, but it just basically talks about how I just had a moment where I realized I was severely judging myself for my podcast decisions a little while ago. And specifically because my podcast is so eclectic, because it's so me, because it's so me, and it's things that I'm curious about, and it's things that I want to investigate, that I felt I felt people were judging me based on my decisions of what I talked about on it. And then I had a true talk with Marta and realized that I was just judging myself, that nobody really gives a shit. The whole reason I started the podcast was for me, and because I was bored, and it's still the reason that I do it, or at least I need to remember the fact that that is the reason why I do it. I mean, it's not consistent. I mean, it's been like months since I've released an episode. It's I do it because it keeps me curious, and it keeps me interested in different things. And the fact that I was judging myself based on what other people may have thought is kind of hilarious to me, because the name of the podcast is called Marta on Move, so it makes it perfectly natural to think about the fact that the tastes will move. My topics will shift, and you know, it's kind of my journey on my own road to life. And honestly, I think everybody should have a podcast, even if you don't release it. I think it's a great journal entry. I think it's a great way to express yourself and way to put it out there into words of how you're feeling. So, anyways, I had a moment. It was a whole thing. And in the blog post that I posted about it, I just basically reintroduced myself. So I'm gonna do that now, and it's gonna suck. No, it's fine. I, years ago, I was questioning myself of who I am right now, and who is Marta right at this moment in her life. And I think one of the biggest mistakes that people make is they try to hold on to who they were in their past. And who you were in your past, you might have characteristics of who you were in your past, but who you are now, you might be trying to fit a round peg into a square hole. We shift, we change, we grow. And you grow for the better or you grow for the worst, but change happens. And for people that don't know me, for anybody that's tuning into this, I'm still the same person that I was. So I'm a person that loves board games and loves to create scavenger hunts and loves to travel and is totally obsessed with solo travel. And if you've heard this before, I'm sorry, but I'm still the same girl that got on a plane terrified back in '04 before Facebook and had her heart broken and wanted to experience the world and was staring down the barrel of just life and getting a job and living in the same damn city I've lived in my whole life. And I was like, I can't. So I found an archaeological tomb excavation in Sicily, and I was terrified to fly. I was terrified to get on a plane, and I just left for a month. Just left, and no, didn't know anybody. Just was like, bye. I was just, I was scared shitless. I took 3 planes and a 3-hour to 2-tiered bus ride to meet a guy in a parking lot. Like, what? I mean, I look back at that and I'm like, well, alrighty, good job. But it changed my life. It propelled me towards who I wanted to be, which was fierce and independent and exploratory and curious, and I was lost at that point. I felt like I didn't know myself. I've always kind of knew myself. I've always been kind of a character, but I didn't know what I wanted out of life. And that started my wheelhouse. That started me traveling. I've done 12 volunteer projects since then, and I've worked on the craziest shit imaginable. Like, I helped rebuild a 10th century castle in France. I've done sea turtle conservations where I've walked beaches at 3 o'clock in the morning for 4 hours at night to watch a sea turtle give birth. And protect them to get them into the water. I've dove in frigid ass waters off of the coast of Portugal with a bunch of Portuguese men and myself to clean up the reefs, to scuba dive. God, what else have I don't even know. The list is, I've done a lot. And I keep doing it. So I'm still that same person. I look back at that, Martin, and I'm like, yes, you took that first step, and this is something you will never give up, because this is something that fuels you. So this brings me kind of to my next transition of the podcast, just things that you will hear more about on my pages, in my recordings, on my website, is health and wellness, because you practice what you preach. That's what you do. It's things that you live your life, that you speak on, those are the things that you speak on well. And the biggest things that I speak on well are a part of my everyday life. And I have always been a person my entire life that has struggled with weight. Always. I was a yo-yo dieter. I was, I always loved myself. I've always had a confidence in myself. I was the person that cracked jokes. That was my defense mechanism. So, I've always like loved myself, but I was never comfortable. I never had a comfortable weight, and I also never worked out ever in high school. Like I was not a sports person. I didn't understand it. I was like, this is dumb. Like I can't do that. My body is not equipped to do that. It's just not a thing. So, I've tried every diet in the world, literally every diet in the world. I've tried like New You, where people were getting their gallbladders removed because they had too much protein. I've tried South Beach. I've tried Atkins. I've tried everything, in a quest to just be balanced. That's all I wanted. I wanted to feel good in my clothes. That's all everybody should want, is just to feel comfortable in their clothes. I've always felt comfortable in my skin. Like I'm like a nudist. I could walk around naked and be, at one point I was 200 pounds. It was a lot of making beer. At that point I had just met Phil, and we were brewers. I was like one of the first female home brewers that I knew of in around my age group. And then we drank all the beer, and they were all heavy beers, and I ate cheese at like midnight, and I escalated to 200 pounds, and I didn't know it. And so that woke me up, and I really started to take wellness more importantly as the forefront of my life. And that was back in 06, maybe 05. I had always wanted to be skinny. And then everything shifted through that. I wanted to be healthy. I didn't want to be skinny anymore. I wanted to be healthy. And then, I started this sales job and with my family company, and I drive around a lot. And I've gotten in 3 car accidents. And luckily, the first 2 didn't do that bad of a number on me. But the last one last February, did. And the guy ran me from behind, totaled my car. I was just starting to get my yoga teacher certification. I just signed up. The classes, the workshops had just begun, and my back was ruined. So I went from, in my life at this point, wanting to, growing up wanting to be skinny, and then I wanted to be healthy. And now, after the car accident, I couldn't walk. I couldn't, like my knees were killing me. My back was killing me. Everything that I had worked so hard to do, because I had really gotten into yoga. I mean, power yoga was my thing. I was going like 6 days a week, like 6 daes a week. And for the people out there, when you find something that you really love to do, especially being a person that really didn't like to move at all, you throw yourself into it. You don't want to lose that momentum. So I was nailing headstands. I was pushing myself. I was doing crow and side crow and all the inversions. I was doing everything. And I wanted to get my yoga teacher certification, not to teach. That was the funny thing. I just wanted to prove to myself that I could do it. And then I got in the car accident, and it forced me to completely take a step back. I couldn't do anything anymore. Child's pose hurt me to do, which is the simplest of poses. I couldn't do that pose, let alone headstands and handstands and crows and all the inversions that I was pushing, that my ego was like pushing myself to do. And I had to watch all of my fellow classmates do, and all of those things, because it's part of the curriculum, some of those things to learn. And I couldn't do it anymore. And honestly, it was the best thing that's ever happened to me, because I don't think I would have been self-aware enough to realize that that was my ego pushing me to do all of those things. And I was propelling myself to a point where I was going to break down my body. It wasn't healthy. I now had to go inward. While everybody else was doing the outward motions, I had to go quiet. And so I really got into meditation. My husband and I years ago studied transcendental meditation, and I was already on that trajectory, which is funny. The things, when you look back at your life, things make sense. You choose certain things that propel you to who you are today, and all of those things, it was like I was training for this moment, because I was in pain. And when you realize you're in pain, when you get to a point of pain, you wake up. That's when people wake up. They don't wake up before pain. They wake up after pain. And so in my road to healing, and I have to put a shout out to my best friend John, who's been my best friend for almost 27 years, who's always just been there to pick me up and heal me, and like try to correct my body. But every time he corrected my body, I'd go out and do something else that was stupid, like there's so many fad diets out there, and there's so many exercise things that push you to do things like CrossFit, and there are things that will break down your body, even though they feel good because you have momentum and you're getting the endorphin hit. They're not necessarily good for your body. They will eventually wear you down. And I didn't understand that. And I was young. Of course, if you don't know something, of course you're going to do it, because you're just happy that you're doing it, right? So John at Move Integrated Physical Culture, that's his business. He has healed me so many times, but after this car accident, I really needed him to not just heal me. I was ready to listen. I needed to learn why, and I needed to propel myself into, I'm going to be 40 next year, so I want no pain. I want to be able to progress in this life and be mobile and be balanced and have no pain, and teach others what he was teaching me about mobility and about physics and how your body should move, and about strength and control, and that's what healed my body. So sorry if I'm digressing here. It's just it's the things you're interested on are the things you talk on, and this past year has sent me down the rabbit hole with that. So I studied yoga for myself to prove to myself I could do it, but I ended up changing that to be a teacher to my students, which is a little bit different of the regular yoga that you're used to. It's a combination of what I learned from John, and breath and movement and meditation and the calming of the mind, but also the stability and the balance and the strength, because I needed both of those things when I was at my weakest. I needed my brain to shut off, and I needed my body to heal and learn why I have pain, like why I have knee pain, why these things, and how to correct it on my own. Anyways, sorry. It's a little bit of emotional time for me. One day I could talk about it, not today, but anyways, so that has been at the forefront of my mind this past year. Healing and strength and mobility. So my posts, like you guys know I have like 4 Instagrams, I think. just because I'm an idea person. I have so many ideas, and I believe in my ideas, and I want to make them happen. And I still believe in, my libations tour is on hold due to COVID, but I loved doing that. Like, I loved hosting. I love hosting, period. I am a host. So that'll start back up, but it might look different. The Pittsburgh Artist Gallery Airbnb, that is up and running, and I'm just so proud of it to feature artists in Pittsburgh and have them in the house, and just expose people to have them come in and have this kind of like retreat where people can get a taste of our city and the talent that's in our city and offer something more than just a place to lay your head. So I was really proud of that I got that up and running. And then I have the podcast, which, I've done everything from travel and entertainment, and now wellness will be a part of that. And then I have Marta Mazzoni PGH, where I've been recording free meditations. So my brain's been a little bit scattered, guys. it's the point. But I guess my whole point in all of this is to just be okay with that. That's who you are now. Like who I am now is on the health and the wellness thing, because I need I need to take care of myself so that I can be the best version of myself and take care of others. Because if I'm not, I am literally no use to anyone. I realize that about myself. I have to be the best version of myself so that I can be there to support others. And everybody knows, like, if you are taking care of yourself, if you are fueling yourself in the right ways, that you really do represent your best version of yourself to other people. I've found the happiest people that I meet are the people that are taking care of themselves mentally and physically. And the most miserable people I meet aren't. They're not. They're just. It's just the way it goes. So, anyways, I wanted to take this opportunity and just reintroduce myself to you all. Hi, I'm Marta. I'm a little bit strange. I'm still strange. And I hope you guys are still listening. I have no idea if you are. And honestly, this might find a whole new set of people. And I honestly, the only thing that I hope for is to help someone, is where my shifting is coming, to help people. And so that people can, become a stronger and a happier version of themselves, to get them out of their funks, to encourage, to inspire, to uplift. And I hope this does that. Also, shameless plug, I'm finally fusing travel and wellness together, which is like, what? That's when things can start to converge, is when you speak truly to yourself and figure out your actual internal, follow your true happiness is what happens. Anyways, I've been invited to host yoga sailing retreats overseas. Yeah, I said that. Yoga sailing retreats overseas. Next year, it's in Croatia, July 2021. It's a 7-day yoga sailing retreat in Croatia. And we're going to visit all the different islands there. It's the only way to really see places like that is by sailboat. And I wanted something intimate. I wanted something to give to people the way that I travel. And the way that I travel is intimate. It's local. I want the most local way to see a place. I want great food. I want great wine. And I want to maximize my time. And being on a sailboat does that. Like you're going from island to island. You're pulling right in the harbor. You're seeing it the way that like the first explorers saw it. So I found this company and we're working together. And so I will be your yoga instructor, which is makes me so happy. And yoga is completely optional, by the way. If you are not a yogi and you just want to head out on a sailboat and drink some wine and eat some food and see unique places, you can do that. There is not, that was also a stipulation. Sometimes you want a retreat where there's like no alcohol and, you were like meditating on a mountain. That's not this retreat. This retreat is for people that want to work out in the morning or not work out and then not feel guilty about eating whatever they want the rest of the day. It's a balanced retreat. It's so we wake up in the morning, we do some yoga, not on the boat. We dock in the harbor and we find a spot. We do some yoga and then people are free to do whatever they want. It's this is not a like guided tour. Although that option is there with these captains that I'm using, they're incredible. So like the boats, you can learn to sail if you want, which is a huge draw for me because it's always something I've wanted to do is to be a captain. And you can learn to sail. You can go on tours when we're in the harbor. You go out to dinner. You hang out on the boat. You go snorkeling. It's just all that in a bag of chips. So details are over on my website. I did a post about it. If you want any information, you can email me at martaonthemovepodcast@gmail.com. I can send you some details about it. Space is limited. This is not like a huge cruise ship, which I hate. Each group of 8 people has their own damn boat. I'm going to say that again because every time I think of it, I get giddy. Each group of 8 people has their own damn boat. So there's 3 boats the first week, because there's 2 weeks happening for Croatia, 2 trips. The first week has 3 boats, so it's a maximum of 24 people. And then the second week is 2 boats, so it's a maximum of 16 people. And I love that because it's small. It's a small gathering of people. Also in 2022, I've been invited to host Thailand for a yoga sailing retreat and Greece. And I don't know. I'm really jazzed about it, guys. I have my 6-month trip. If you didn't know, when I'm 40, it's supposed to be coming up next year. I don't know what's going to happen with COVID. None of us know what's going to happen with COVID. I'm still planning on leaving and going. I don't know if it'll be 6 months. I don't know if it'll be 3. Maybe it'll be 4. I'm going to play it by ear. But I'm just so excited to get out there again, safely and responsibly, which was another reason why I chose to accept this position as the yoga instructor for these sailing retreats, because it's so private. It's not like you're staying in a huge hotel or on a massive cruise ship. You are with a group of 8 people. That's like crazy. So, and you're on the seas, it's like, oh, come on. It's great. Anyways, I digress. So I wanted to record this episode, hopefully inspiring people out there that are watching so many things online, watching other people do things, and inspire them to just kind of go deeper and embrace who they are right now and not who they were in the past. Try to not be heavily influenced by other people. My one wish is that people I hope people look at my stuff that I do and they don't feel bad about themselves when they see what I'm doing. Like, I hope it inspires them to do something on their own, like to start their own podcast or take that solo trip, or, you know, oh hell, I just got some nude pictures done for myself. I talk about that in the blog post, just for myself, because I, you know, of who I am now, and even that feels good. So go get some nudie pictures of yourself, like, because it's you know, it's all who you are now. It's embracing who you are and loving yourself, and I just really hope people are out there doing that more. Thank you guys for listening. We'll see what comes next. And if you want to follow me, if you want any of my free meditations, I'm also in the process of putting together a wellness program and some crazy scavenger hunt stuff. I'm like all over the place, but fun. Everything is fun. Everything is like coming together as it needs to come together. But shoot me an email, shoot me a text. Not a text, you don't have my number, but shoot me an email. Let me know how you're doing out there. I love hearing from people, truly. Like, it makes my day to hear from my listeners, and see how they're doing, see what they're struggling with. I never thought I would, but I do private yoga sessions now as an instructor. I do private meditations. I have clients like from different countries. It's wonderful. I love it. I never thought it would happen, but there's a call for it, and I just want to help. So it feels good. Catch you guys later. Keep it moving. As always, you can find me, Marta on the Move, martaonthemove.com, Twitter at I Can't Find Marta. Talk to you guys later.